All right, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today is November 30th, 2022. And to be honest with you, I don't really know what I want to talk about. Actually, I lied. Maybe I do know what I want to talk about. So, let's talk about consistency, right? So, one of the things that's very common is for us when we make goals to come up with excuses as to why right now isn't the right time to do what we want to do or what we should do to get our goals done. So for example, yesterday I wanted to record a video, but I didn't have time because what I often end up doing is what I call productive procrastination, meaning coming up with a bunch of other tasks that I should be doing or that are urgent or they need to be done right now in order to kind of put off what I should be doing, like recording a YouTube video, or in the past, like meal prepping, or like studying for potential job interviews. And that's actually a very difficult thing to kind of be aware of. And so what I used to do in the past is, it's almost like, it's actually going to sound kind of bad that I do this, but I actually used to do this, and sometimes those thoughts kind of reoccur, is that I would ask, like maybe every hour, I would maybe set a timer and I would remind myself, hey, is what I'm doing right now kind of lined up with the pillars of like the big foundational goals that I want to achieve in life? And so how I tend to break down my goals is almost like a pyramid strategy. So the first layer of the pyramid in terms of my goals is health, because without health, all the other goals don't really matter. So that's the primary focus. The next level, once I feel I've achieved what I want to achieve in health for that quarter, for the year, or whatever, I move up to the next level, which is career or wealth. So focusing on making sure that I'm in a financially stable place, that I'm in a place where if I don't like my job, I can easily switch to another job or find something that I would probably be better at doing, or being able to invest in hobbies or goals like creating a YouTube channel because I have the financial resources and means to do so. And above wealth and above health, I have what I call social cohesion. So that's basically a fancy anthropological term for how well connected you feel like to the people around you, to the community, and basically where your position is in the social hierarchy. Do you feel like you're part of a community? Whether that be your family, whether that be a fitness, your gym, whether that be at work. Without that sense of connection, there really isn't much above, like anything above it has basically no meaning. But I mean, really the last rung on my steps of goals is intimacy. So what I mean by intimacy, I don't want to say love because I feel like that's a super convoluted term. What I mean by like intimacy, I mean like intimate relationships with a person, not friendships, what most people would call romantic partnerships. So I feel like without health, without wealth, without your social cohesion, your ability to connect and have an identity outside of a relationship, and an identity that you feel like you're connected to a group or a higher purpose, having intimate love, I feel like isn't really possible. So that's how I set up my goals. And so this is all a setup to kind of describe, like, hey, like for example, right now it's 9:30 on a Wednesday, and is what I'm doing right now achieving any of one of my goals? And the way I look at my YouTube channel is a culmination of all of these, right? Because I'm using this as like almost like an e-journal to kind of analyze my thoughts, analyze my actions to see and make sure to hold myself accountable, like I said in my first video, to the things I want to do in life. Because I feel like if I don't either write these things down, record myself, look back at this, like it's going to be hard to kind of maintain any semblance of, am I doing what I should be doing? And sometimes people like to justify the reasons why they don't accomplish the goals they do want to actually achieve in life, by saying they didn't really want it in the first place. I mean, there's so many different ways that people kind of dismiss those goals. But by holding yourself accountable and making sure that the majority of what the actions that you do during the day are actually aligned with what you want to do and who you want to become, that's the only real way that you're going to get anything accomplished, right? And if you're honest with yourself and you wake up every morning trying to do the actions that it will take to become the person, to do the things that you want to do, you won't have that anxiety. Because it seems like a lot of people have anxiety about not being where they deserve to be in life or where they think they should be in life. And that comes from kind of like, whether it's blissful ignorance to the distractions in their life, whether that be like social media, video games, toxic relationships, shitty career decisions. Bad career decisions. And those are all excuses, right? All distractions that prevent you from achieving what you want to do. So minimizing those distractions and putting all the effort and energy that you have available that's reasonable without, again, putting any detriment to your health, to your wealth, to your ability to connect to people around you and your ability to have an intimate relationship, you should do it, right? You should focus on that. And so, yeah, why am I recording this video? So, have I done some of the things that I should be doing? So, like, one of the things that I've kind of been procrastinating on, I mean, honestly, I should have done this maybe 4 or 5 years ago, is I have to make it a daily routine to, just like I train I train 6 days a week right now, at least on the current program. Minimum, my programs are 5 days a week throughout the entire year. I don't really take rest weeks unless I'm on vacation. There are very few exceptions for that. But just like I do training, I should be also, because I'm a software engineer, I should be making sure that I'm up to date and capable of doing technical interviews. Because situations in companies change day by day. As we know, like the economy right now is kind of shaking. There's a lot of tech layoffs. People, either an opportunity comes up and I want to be prepared, right? So I'd rather be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared from a technical interview standpoint. Plus, I feel like I can earn a lot more money switching to a different job, and I know there's a bunch of research that actually supports that. And just having the confidence to say, hey, if this company isn't right for me, if I don't like the culture, if I don't like the environment, if I don't like the work, if I don't like management, I can leave whenever I want. One, because I have financial stability, I can take the time off and kind of eat it because I have savings. And then also I have I've been prepping for a long time for technical interviews. I've never lost my skills to interview. Then I'll go in with a better foot forward. I'll go in with a lot more confidence. I'll be able to negotiate better deals and better job offers, because hopefully I'll be able to get multiple job offers, and that's the idea. But ultimately, I'd want to kind of start my own business, because I feel like that I'm more than just, I have the skills of more than just a software engineer. I have the soft skills, I feel like, of someone that isn't necessarily hyper technically focused, but also I have the technical skills to build a product from 0 to 1, and I've done that in the past. So maybe in the future I'll start another company, or I'll start something that's actually profitable. I mean, there's a bunch of tech companies, I'm not going to name any, that that spend a bunch of money, look like a big show, but end up just being vaporware, just useless tech, things that go bankrupt. And I'm not trying to build something like that. I'm actually trying to build a company that's can stand this test of time, and that I can actually be paid what I feel like is my true worth. Because I feel like no matter how hard you work in a company, it's really hard to optimize. Sometimes there's luck, sometimes it's just timing, or sometimes it's both in terms of how well you're paid in your position and your profession. And I want to be in more control. I want to minimize the things that I can't control in my life and optimize for the things that I can control. And I think I can control, for one, my technical interviewing skills, and also if I can optimize my career in terms of focusing on building something of my own. Because like it or not, I feel like there is definitely age discrimination in the technical field and like the software and tech space. And, I'm not that old, I'm 28, but, looking down the line in the future, do I see myself in a engineering role? Like, don't get me wrong, I love programming, I love software. I did it 16 hours a day for days and like days on end, for a long time, since maybe I was like 13, 14, writing either simple programs or doing other things. I've always been passionate at problem solving. So I'm not worried about that. I just want to have more control. Maybe it stems from my childhood. I just think it makes sense. It's a sensible decision to make. And so, like, making sure that I'm on track to doing all that, and making sure that I'm on track in terms of my health, my wealth, my career, my ability, how well connected I feel, like my social cohesion, like how high is that? And then focusing finally on intimate love, being that person that can attract someone that I feel I can really connect with and build something with. And yeah, hopefully this channel turns into that. I don't want to just focus on, like, maybe I'll make this more dynamic, maybe I'll do more of a personal diary where it's less of a production setup and it feels a little bit more cozy. But I'd rather start with something. Like, I can't start, it's like working out, right? You're not going to go into a gym and start benching 315, assuming you're not, the Hulk or a linebacker, you know what I mean? Or have that body type. You have to practice. You got to learn to crawl before you walk, And so, this setup might change, this format may change, but honestly, like, I like the idea of me talking through my own thoughts. And even if I'm talking to a camera or talking to people that may have a similar mindset, in terms of what they want to do, or the fact that they're aware that they have goals that they want to achieve, and that they don't really believe, or they don't really pay mind to the fact that they could easily make excuses, right, for why they can't get things done. There will always be 1,000,001 reasons why you can't do what you want to do in life. But if you focus on the things you can control and the things that you're aware of that can change, I feel like you can get done what you want to get done and do what you want to do in life. And so that's the primary focus of this kind of like vlog series, is like me focusing and kind of honing myself and thinking through some of my problems and making sure that I'm on track and holding myself accountable. And so, that's me. And it's a weird balancing act, honestly, like trying to keep a social life and trying to, sometimes I feel like I bite off a lot more than I can chew, with all the goals and all the ambitions. And as much as I want to push and drive through a lot of what I think are barriers, I got to realize that I only have everyone has to realize that we only have a certain amount of time in life and only a certain amount of things that we can achieve, because that's like, time is a finite resource. Our energy is a finite resource, right? You can't be married to 25 people and produce the same kind of relationship across 25 different people. Same thing, like, you can't be a one percenter in every career. You can't, it's hard to be, a Kobe Bryant and also be an amazing father who's at every game, or to be a world-renowned surgeon and again be that father that's hyperly active. You have to make sacrifices, right, in life, and you need to know, like, you have to be aware and consciously choose, like, what is most important to me. And everything else has to be labeled just a distraction. And that sounds kind of gross, but I mean, that's the reality of it. We only have so much energy. We only have so much time. So we got to focus our time and energy on the things we want to accomplish, spend time with the people that we want to spend time with. And maybe that's not necessarily family. Maybe that's a close-knit group of people that are aligned and have similar goals as you. Maybe not necessarily in the same field, but are similarly passionate about what they do and about what they want to achieve in life. You want to surround yourself with people with similar goals so that you're not, surrounded by people that are constantly distracting you or nagging you or, doubting you, because you already have a bunch of self-doubt. You don't need any more of that toxic energy. It's better to be alone than to be around that energy. But yeah, that's the whole point of me kind of reflecting on this stuff. So, the other day I spent some time talking through, some personal issues, and honestly, I don't even know if I want to go through this right now. But yeah, it's hard to open up right now, especially on camera. It's like only the second vlog, but it's hard to be able to commit to things when you have unresolved problems in life. Not just relationships or abuse or childhood trauma, but like things that should be addressed before you can move forward, right? There are mental barriers that you kind of have to work through, that are kind of hindering you. And I think what's really important, I think every successful person has this, and it's their ability to be self-aware, right? So you're aware of, not necessarily meaning that you're in control of everything, but you understand what thoughts, desires, and things that are going on in your head, right? Because me, as a person who's really into fitness, yeah, of course I want to eat unlimited cheeseburgers, or I want to binge eat ice cream or chips and salsa and drink all that I want. But I realized that those low-level, subconscious, animalistic instincts, that lizard brain that's talking to you, that voice in your head that's telling you to do the things that contradict what you want in life, you got to be able to see that, be aware of it, and then actively act against it. It's almost like your subconscious and your conscious are fighting against each other. And the people that are successful in life are able to, one, fight against it, set up systems so that they can succeed in kind of restraining that lizard brain, training it to maybe not be as loud as it is for people that aren't necessarily achieving the things they want to achieve in life. And maybe instead of just even setting up barriers for the lizard brain, setting up a system that uses the lizard brain to achieve what you want to do. But most people aren't thinking at that meta level, right? Most people are just surviving, right? They're just doing the day-to-day, and they're not growing. They're not looking for the next challenge. They're just comfortable, and that complacency is what leaves them stuck, right? Because what worked last year isn't necessarily going to work this year, right? Our ancestors, they were hunter and gatherers. What would happen when the mammoths died? They had to go from hunting mammoths to hunting other animals, They had to adjust. They had to adapt. We have to do the same thing today, right? You're not going to be a world-class trader if you're trading stocks like you traded in 2001. You can't do that, because now, today, we have high-velocity computers that trade at millions of times faster than any of the best stockbroker 20 years ago. You have to be able to adapt. If not, you're gonna die, and it's unfortunate. You're not gonna survive. You're not gonna make it. And if that sounds exhausting, I mean, it is. But if you make it a game, it could be fun, and that's the way I kind of view my goals in trying to push myself. I want to constantly, every day, instead of being a net consumer of content, I want to be a net producer. If I'm consuming content on the internet, it's usually content that is either personal growth or things that will help me achieve some facet of, my goals, whether that be health, wealth, social cohesion, and intimate love. And people aren't really self-aware of themselves. And I think, going back to what I was saying earlier, right? Every hour auditing, like action auditing, right? Am I doing things that are aligned with who I want to be? Not necessarily who I am today, but who I want to be, and what kind of person it will take to get to where I want to go in life. Like, there's a big difference between the habits of someone who is a successful professional athlete and someone who is 400 pounds overweight, right? Aside from the genetics, there are key actions, things that are happening on a day-to-day basis, even a minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis in terms of their decision-making, right? Because I feel like the quality of your life, if we focus on the things that we can control, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your decisions. And anything that distracts or impairs your ability to make decisions, whether that be alcohol, drugs, vices, sex, toxic relationships, whether they be toxic boyfriend, girlfriend, family members, co-workers, colleagues, any of that stuff can derail you and to cause a spiral. So you got to be aware and try to actively fight against it. And that's just the nature of life. I don't want to ramble too much. But yeah, like, these are the thoughts that kind of go through my head. And maybe I will kind of give an update. Like, today, I really didn't want to work on a interviewing problem. I have a whiteboard here in my bedroom, and I practice it. Even though it was an easy, or quote unquote easy interview problem, I did solve it. I just didn't solve it as quickly as I thought I would. But again, you gotta crawl before you walk, and you gotta make it a habit. And just like me working out 6 days a week, it's become routine. It's become something like breathing to me. I need to make interview prep the same thing. I need to be prepared for anything that comes at me at life, because ultimately I'm responsible for my life. Nobody else is going to come save me. That's just my mentality. And not everyone believes that. And that's perfectly fine. Because I believe there should be diversity in thought. But my mindset has helped me in life achieve what I want to do. And as long as my ideas and my beliefs help me live the life I want to live, I'm perfectly okay with it. Not everything I believe in has to be right. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know if I want to talk about anything else. I think we're perfectly fine at where we are right now. I'm going to try to record another video. I'm not really sure what the schedule is going to look like. I think maybe 2 videos a week is fine. I'm not going to make them extra long. I don't even know if I want to do a lot of editing of the videos, to be honest with you. But I just want to take some time, and this is almost like a therapy for me, so just think aloud and record myself and kind of listen back to this stream of like consciousness. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If anything, leave a comment down below. Is anything I said like resonate with you? Do you think that maybe I'm missing something? Maybe you believe, maybe you agree, maybe you like the way I think, maybe you think There are some books that you might recommend. Maybe you think I'm cool. Maybe you think I'm a little too hard on myself. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I just think that I think this is good for me. And if you think this is good for me, just comment down below. Maybe it's good for you. If it's good for you and me, comment down below. Anyways, yeah, let's wrap this up. I'll catch you on the next video.